Postgraduate studies conjures up images of boffins in white coats and students who can't bear to leave university life. Isn't one degree enough? I went to talk to some career pals to find out more. Who are you and what do you do?
My name is Callum Leckie. I'm a careers advisor at UCL. I did a PhD now, I started in 1992. And I did that after doing a first degree in biology.
My name's Terry Jones. I'm a careers advisor at King's College.
What exactly is postgraduate study? It sounds very grand.
It does sound very grand, doesn't it? It's everything that you do after you've got a degree. So, you know, it relates to things like doing a PhD, with an original piece of research, or it could relate to doing, say, a teaching qualification.
But why bother with postgraduate study?
Well, I think with postgraduate study, you have to be very clear about what is the added value of doing it, okay? Now, for some particular careers, postgraduate study can be an essential route in. So, for example, if you've done a first degree and then you decide to go into teaching, then something like the postgraduate certificate in secondary education is something that you have to do before you can actually teach. But some people also do postgraduate study just because they're interested in the subject area and they want to learn more about a particular area of work or a particular area of research, maybe in more depth.
Is it not just an excuse to be a student a little bit longer?
That is the danger. And I think that one of the things that when we talk to undergrads who are talking about postgrads, usually masters, is why are you doing this and why are you doing this now? So those two factors. What is it costing you in time? In other words, it's a kind of opportunity cost issue. You could have been trying something else, but you're sticking in this kind of safe area, safe for you.
The thing is, if you do a PhD in nuclear physics, won't people think you're the brain of Britain? Maybe your employer will think you're too experienced.
It's worth doing some research before you apply for a position on what's the attitude of employers in the sector you're interested in to particular qualifications. So do they have a preference? And I think it's worth doing that before you commit yourself to do another year. The other thing you should remember is that it could be possible that the course that you apply to, either the research course or a taught master's, for example, might have an element of working with employers in it. So, for example, some PhDs are sponsored by employers, and during your PhD you might have to spend a fair amount of time on site.
Is postgraduate study expensive?
Well, that really depends. Many courses, particularly research courses, are actually funded by the UK research councils. And basically, those kind of funded postgraduate research positions or top positions will be advertised by the institutions that are hosting them. But many courses actually you'll have to provide your own funding.
Some charities, for instance, will fund research into, say, medical charities will fund research into their diseases. So Cancer Research UK, for instance, will fund lots of college places and PhD studentships so that they can work on the various sorts of cancer.
So it's okay to do that nuclear physics PhD, but how should you decide where to go?
So you start off with saying, okay, well, I want to look at this area. And so I want to find out where this kind of course is offered. And there are a number of directories around, there are a number of websites.
So if you have an idea of a particular career that you think you want to go into afterwards, it can be worth finding out from employers, maybe by attending employer fairs, presentations at university, what their attitude is to particular courses and also particular institutions. Because, for example, if you're thinking about doing a business degree as a postgraduate subject, it's worth finding out if particular business schools have a good reputation amongst the employers that you're kind of targeting.
And how do I apply? Is it a central system like UCAS, or do you apply individually to the institution?
There are some kind of groups, vocational groups, where you apply through a central clearinghouse, but actually mostly it's a completely free market. The courses are marketed and advertised and so on, and they take applications one by one.
Is there anyone you wouldn't recommend it to?
If you have maybe struggled with the academic aspects of a first degree, then I think you have to ask yourself, do I want to do that again, but more of it?
Now here's the thing that people make incorrect assumptions about, and it's very, very common. And they think, I only got a 2-2, so What I will do is go and get a master's, and that will kind of take away the kind of disadvantage of that, or the perceived disadvantage of that too. And no employer I know works like that. They want to know what grade you got in your first degree.
So there you have it, postgraduate studies. The clue's in the title, really. All the studies you do post being a graduate. But it's not an opportunity to put off your career choice, but perhaps a nice journey on the path. Good luck.